Yes, Chris was killed by an IED near to Sangin in one of the forward operating bases when he was on patrol. He was leading a patrol. Chris was a corporal in the Royal Marines.
What did he tell you? Did he ever have a chance to talk to you about the situation in Helmand province at the time? It was the scene of some of the bloodiest fighting, wasn't it?
It was pretty awful. It was. He did mention that there was some social aspects to what our troops were doing that he felt were worthwhile in delivering medical care and social facilities to people who just didn't have any facilities whatsoever. But it was also a case of trying to provide security against insurgents who dominated the area all around the towns in that area, and still do, by the sound of it.
It certainly sounds that way, doesn't it, Martin? Our troops did pull out in large number. There are still some there in the form of the SAS fighting at the moment. How surprised are you to hear that British troops are already, I mean, it's only small numbers at the moment, but are now back on the ground there?
I'm not surprised because I do follow the reports on Afghanistan out of curiosity. I think we've always been there. It's a matter of what scale it's been on. I'm a bit confused about what it is we're actually trying to achieve long term, like a lot of people, I believe. And I've got to say I'm disappointed on a personal level that the thing that my son appeared to be giving his life for, to provide some sort of stability in Afghanistan, seems to have collapsed. But I can't say I'm surprised because I think it's been heading that way for a while.
I mean, obviously,
I think we're in. Yeah, go on.
No, I'm not sorry, Martin, to interrupt you there. I was just going to say, obviously, we're not saying that your young lad died in vain. That would be a tragedy. But we are finding ourselves potentially in a situation that he had given his life to try to stop happening.
It was. I think there was some confusion about what it was all for. It started off as, from a sort of government publicity point of view, as a fight against production of drugs. That seems to not be the case at the moment. I would like our government to actually explain what it is we are trying to support in Afghanistan, and I would like any involvement, no matter how small it is. I would like some sort of reassurance from our government that they're going to provide full support for our forces in what they do during the conflict and afterwards, as in the case of Al Blackman, who's been persecuted for doing his job. So our government seems to be confused as to what they're actually there for.
Talking about Sergeant Blackman there, aren't you?
And
of course,
it's concerning.
He was convicted of murder after an incident in Helmand province, although family desperately trying to get that reduced to manslaughter. More than 100 other families are in the same position as you, with their loved ones having perished in Helmand. I know that you seek solace from Wilson, the dog, who was your son's dog. Do you feel that it would help at all with perhaps sending more? There he is. We're just looking at pictures of him there. He's pretty relaxed at the moment. He was pretty bouncy earlier on, I think, wasn't he, when we first arrived? What sort of support does he give you? And do you think that it would help at all to send more troops back to the region again?
I hope not, because I've got no confidence that we're actually going to sort of have a strategy that will realistically achieve any sort of stability. I think there's nothing that's really been said that convinces me that we really know what to do about the problem now, unless we actually win over the people who are Afghanis. We can't achieve anything by relatively small numbers of troops, and so my interest is in the welfare of our troops, not putting them in positions where we're not going to fully support them unnecessarily. I think we've got to sort of think about what we want.
Martin, it is good to talk to you. We do appreciate you taking the time to join us on Sky News this afternoon. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks a lot.